Don't start it.
Halakha says that a person is obligated to put on the tefillin shel yad on the hand that's the weakest. The hand that is weakest, that's the hand that a person puts on the tefillin. So therefore, for most people, they usually write with their right hand, and they do their melacha, most of the work, with their right hand. So therefore, the weaker hand becomes the left hand, and that's the hand that you put on tefillin. However, there are people that are lefties, and they do all their work, and all their ketivah, everything, writing, and the work that they do, everything's with the left hand. In that case, their weaker hand becomes the right hand, and therefore they put on their tefillin on the right hand. The gabeh this din, if a person did not pay attention and he put on the tefillin on the wrong hand, that means somebody who's supposed to put on his tefillin on his left, put it on his right, or somebody who's supposed to put it on his right, put it on his left, regardless which one it is. The halakha is lo yatsa, you're not doing the mitzvah. So you have to make sure that when you put on the tefillin, you're putting it on the correct hand. The people that are lefties have to make sure they put it on their right hand. People that are righties have to make sure they put it on their left hand. And it's not just across the board, oh, since everybody's putting it on their left, we all put on our left, regardless of what kind of person he is. And there's where the question that comes up, though, that arises, is what happens if a person is nusunus? He has half and half. He writes with his right hand, and he does the work with his left hand, or vice versa. He writes with his left hand, and then he does most of his work with his right hand. So he's half-half. Some of his work, some things he does, again, he does most of the work with one hand, but he writes with the other hand, so which one is considered the weaker hand? So the Da'at Maran Shulchan Aruch, Maran holds, we go after the ketibah. All has to do with the writing. It doesn't make a difference with what you do the work, the melacha with. Main thing is the writing. Whatever hand does the writing, the other hand becomes the weaker hand. So if a person writes with his right hand and he does other work, melacha, with his left hand, that's considered your righty. And therefore you put on your tefillin on your left hand. However, there are poskim that disagree with this. They disagree with Maran, and they hold that a person who goes after the B'rov Melacha, because that's really a weaker hand, that means. The one that does most of the work becomes the real strong hand, and the one that doesn't is obviously the weaker hand. And therefore, halakha l'ma'aseh, a person, again, who is partially a righty, partially a lefty, in that case he would have to consult with his rabbi. Many times they'll tell him to put on tefillin twice, they'll tell him to put on his right and put on your left. Both of them, mainly you'll put on like Maran Shulchan Aruch, you put on the opposite hand that you write with, that's the main tefillin, and then afterwards you'll have to put on again misafek on the other hand, in case just to be yotzeh all the poskim.